Oh man, we're almost ready. 1 minute, baby. Beep, beep. The 1 minute countdown. And now.
Here.
And now.
All they see is this.
And now. What?
Wait, wrong way.
Where you?
I gotta move
That's
this.
my beer.
Like,
Get your own beer.
it's like,
Yeah.
You're weird.
Oh, you don't want it in the shot?
Yeah, it's in the shot. I'm the producer, you know.
Oh, the producer, director, makeup department, morale department.
I kind of flopped on the hair department tonight, but
that's all right. That's so cool. With a capital K. Is it A? Oh! Not quite eight. Not quite eight. Not quite. 1 minute. Less than a minute, probably. Oh, yeah, dude. That Herzog looks sweet. He's like holding the box of booty. His golden treasures.
I told him we need to start telling everybody the movie of next week.
Yeah, so you can go watch it, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, and then the people
I don't
who
think
just tune in.
I don't think too far ahead. Yeah. Oh, shit, it's 8 o'clock! And you know what that means. It's Weird War Live. Weird War 2 Live. Weird War Wednesday. What are we going to call it? It's Weird War Wednesday.
Yep,
but anyway, I fucked up that intro.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, guys. Good to see everybody. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So, we're like jonesing up. We're going to hook up with the family tomorrow and just get fatter. Or I'm going to get fatter. Man, we're going to chow down. I can't wait. Can't wait.
This is Thanksgiving Eve.
This is Thanksgiving Eve. That's right. That is it. I can is excited. So if you're outside the U.S.,
just showed it.
Jay, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I called you earlier this week, but you're like, fuck, that's Brian. I'm not out. Click.
Hello?
Is this the cocksucker residence?
God damn you! Stop calling here.
Isn't this 4215 Pussy Way?
You bitch!
Now let me check the zip code. 212. Fuck you.
But anyway, all right, guys. So tonight we've got some epic stuff to talk about. For our website today, I'm going to do a shameless plug for our own YouTube page, which you're already on. So
which makes no sense at all. It's like,
well, no, we're going to talk about the features that it offers and the hours and hours of enjoyment that you could get from it. And it could expand your life, your consciousness. Trust me. You can watch those videos and that's what will happen. Okay, then the media for tonight, we're watching the Dead Snow series. Dead Snow 1, which is just called Dead Snow. Then Dead Snow 2.
Yeah.
Red versus Dead.
Number 1, guys. Woo.
Number 2. I like 2 better.
I like number 1. I'm a number 1 girl.
Number deuce.
Okay.
That's all right. All right, and then for our wargaming discussion, we're going to talk about Heliborn operations in your Weird War battlefield.
Mobile.
Or helicopter mobile, or helimobile, or air mobile, or whatever you want to call it. But that's not the paratroops. It's
they don't jump out of
the assault,
right.
Air assault, or whatever they can call it, depending on your army. All right, so that's what it'll be for our wargaming. But so tonight we're going to talk about this excellent station that you're watching right now, Weird World War II channel on YouTube.
All Alright guys, so we filmed over an hour of the video, but Brian's ugly mug broke the interweb and YouTube, so it didn't take. So we redid it on Monday, the Monday after. So this is it all started over again. So enjoy. Brian's a loser.
So we're going to go through all the different playlists. Now, everything that's on the channel is in a playlist. Okay, I hate channels where they got like 2 playlists with 13 videos in each one, and they have over like 200 videos on the whole channel. It's just messy as hell. So my OCD is kicking in here, and boom, we got all sorts of cool shit. Okay, so the first playlist we got is how to play Battleground Weird World War II. Okay, now there's 3 videos of that, and what that is our homebrew game that we play, our Weird World War II gaming. So if we're doing our own campaigns or whatever, and our ongoing Weird World War II campaign, we're using the Battleground Weird World War II system. So those 3 videos will show you kind of like how we play it, how it plays, whatever. Now it's a mod off of the old Battleground World War II system from Easy 8 Enterprises. That's long out of production. But if you guys want any rules, it's all on my blog. They're all on my blog. They're free. So and I've got like my modified rule book. If you guys want access to that, just let me know, and I can shoot you a PDF of that stuff.
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
All right, so then the second category is the Weird World War II campaign. So that is our ongoing Weird World War II campaign that we're playing out right now. We started in 1937, a few days before the Marco Polo Bridge incident in China. So right now we're in the midst of Japan and China are starting up the Second Sino War. So Second Sino-Japanese War. I think that's what Sino, whatever. But they're about to throw down, and actually the hostilities is broken out. But we're also playing all around the world, so it's not just the front line. We did a adventure with the Shadow fighting some. Who was it?
Niggereth, also known as the Black Goat in the Woods with 1,000 Young.
I don't even know.
Nagel Rathotap. Or no, it was Slog Nog. Some fucking Cthulhu bullshit. I can't say the damn Slob and Knob. It's a Slob and Knob monster. But that's why Mel had to stop it. She doesn't like the Slob and Knob monsters. Anyway, follow our campaign there. We're going to go throughout the entire World War II campaign. And it's going to be different, guys. We got some crazy shit happening, all sorts of fun stuff. So be sure to watch that. We need to get painting on that next mission. It's been a while.
Yeah, get to it.
Shit, I gotta paint a bunch of British shit. So, but anyway, so check that out. So our third category is the other shit playlist, and what that is there's 4 videos in there, and what that is stuff that doesn't fit in the other playlists.
And with these hands, I hold the fate of millions.
So in that one, we do I think we have our why I'm a Weird Wargamer, me and Mel, kind of like our history of gaming and whatnot. So there's some other stuff in there. So check that out. Then we got our sponsor showcase. Okay, so we have sponsors, and they offer discounts, and we got 3 of those in there. So some of the sponsors we have videos for, just kind of show off some of their product. Show about the discount. Be sure on every video that we have, we'll have like a link to the sponsors, so you can go check that out. You can also always go to my blog, WWII.com, and we have all the sponsors on the left side, so you can just click on there. It has all the, it's all free. You don't have to. I don't charge you anything to get these discounts. So just swing over there if you want to buy anything from them. Just let them know that you're coming from us, and use the product code, and boom, you get a discount, because buying cheap shit is good. All right, then we got our channel mission.
But what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
We need to update that channel mission.
Yes, we do.
I mean, we did that like a year ago.
More than a year ago.
Well, over a year ago. So, but anyway, so that's that. Then we got the painting challenges. So every October we have a painting challenge. Basically, we put out to the universe to say, hey, why don't you guys paint up something? Something within the weird World War II or the Halloweenish, horror kind of genre. And what I'll do is I'll get all your pictures and stuff, and then I'll make a video of all the people who participated. And
We
then
need to do that. It is now almost December.
We already did it.
Who won?
It's been done. There's no winner. It's just people who do it.
Oh.
She doesn't even know what the fuck's going on, guys. She didn't even watch our videos. She's like, I don't like watching the videos. I lived it. I'm like, whatever.
I lived it.
She misses all the cool shit I add in the editing process. But yeah, if you ever want to join the painting challenge every October, come in and show off your shit. Then we got Pulp Alley. Dave's excellent game, Mel's favorite game to play. We got 6 videos in there. We plan on revisiting Pulp Alley. We need to buy some. We've got their skirmish or their scenarios book. We're gonna play out that book here probably next year. So sometime, just keep an eye out. Then the next is our Christmas party. We're going to start that again here pretty quick. So what that is, as any friends of the channel, we're going to put you in a big bowl, and we're going to pick like a raffle, and we'll send you some free shit for being awesome. Last year, we had a riveting one. We had a whole one person, and JC won. Woo! Good job, JC.
We picked to have a bowl anyway.
We do a giant bowl. It's great. It's a great video. They're not very long, but we'll have a Christmas party coming up next month. So if you want to be a friend of the channel, all you got to do is donate some time, stuff. Don't give me any money. I don't want any of your fucking money. But, if you got shit laying around the house that you don't want, that you think we could use for our weird World War II gaming, send it our way. We'll just, my email is on the YouTube channel. So just shoot me a message and we'll hammer something out. All right, then we have Incursion. Incursion is an excellent game by Tabletop Board Games. That's one of our sponsors. It's a weird World War II, kind of like it's similar to Space Hulk. So it's a weird World War II Space Hulk. It's a great game. We've got an expansion to that, and we're going to play that out this year, but we just got to paint it. We didn't paint it when we did it originally. So we're going to repaint that, revisit that, but we want to get everything painted before we do it that time. Then we've got the next playlist is Maximilian 1934 by Mana Games. All right, man. So this is excellent fun game, guys. It's imagine the Road Warrior, but in 1934. So it's a lot of fun. So you got all these cool jalopies with, like Vickers guns on them and anti-tank rifles and cool shit like that. So it's a lot of fun. Mana teamed up with Eureka Miniatures. And Eureka makes a bunch of cool, like, post-apocalyptic 1934 vehicles. So check them out. Mana hooked us up with a whole bunch of, they hooked us up with 4 different vehicles and their crews. And we really appreciate them. We have a discount with them, too. So go check out Mana Press. Get the game. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to learn, really easy. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. We're gonna finish. We got one more game of that from their main rule book, and then we've got an expansion, which is like a world tour, like a world Grand Prix tour. We're gonna end up playing. I bought myself a SDKFZ 222.
Really now then?
Autocannon, baby, with a turret.
Were you ever gonna tell me?
You saw it. I built it on the table. But yeah. So thank you, baby. But it should be fun going up against Mel and her tricycle.
I will win.
With that damn boy. All right. Then we got, this is my favorite. Well, one of my favorite. It's the Family Gaming Closet. It's fantastic. I have a huge board game collection, guys. I grew up in a family of board gamers. So we got a lot of different weird World War II board games. So it's like playing Jenga and 1313 Dead End Drive, which is a lot of fun. And, even playing solitaire and shit. So check that out. It's good for the kids. It's a G-rated the videos in there are pretty PG-13.
On the verge of being an R.
On the verge, but never quite R. All right, so then we got Achtung Cthulhu. Modifius used to be one of our sponsors, and we played out their beginner game missions on their rule book. Not their rule book, but their campaign book. So there's 7 videos there. We really love the figures and the story and the background. I'm not big a fan of the rules. I'm not saying that it's not your thing, but it just wasn't really our thing. But we're going to finish playing out their campaign book in the battle, but using my Battleground Weird World War II rules. So that's coming up in the pipe eventually. And then an excellent playlist here is videos of our weird World War II weirdos. That's you guys. Those are you guys that are helping us out. Our channel, our friends of the channel. Anybody who donates, anything to the channel to help us out, I offer you guys a chance to be interviewed. And if you go there, there's 3 videos there. There's a couple. There's one of our sponsors. We did Lee Gaddis of Gaddis Gaming. We interviewed him, and JC, our good pal JC, and Nishi, our great buddy from Germany. Check those out. And if you are a friend of the channel and want to be interviewed, shoot me a message. We'll hammer something out. And then, because it's nice to see the people and just kind of hear about the people that are that you might see in the comments or people that we refer to or whatever. It's kind of neat to just hear their stories and see what's going down. All right, then the next is Dust Tactics and whatever. Which is a lot of fun. Mel loves playing that. I enjoy playing it too. I wasn't quite sure about it at first because it plays like a board game, but I enjoy it. I enjoy all the figures. I'm a big fan of Apollo's stuff, and his mechs are the best in the industry, in my opinion. But we're having lots of fun. We're playing that out. We're going to play out unfortunately, Dust is no more. But doesn't mean that you can't play it. And we started from the beginning, and we're gonna play out the entire Dust story.
Except the last expansion, which we
Yeah, we got.
The last one.
Well, we don't have any of the. We have all the Dust Tactic expansions, but we don't have the Dust 1947 stuff. There's like 3 of them, and those are just like books. But we'll get to those eventually. We'll get all that stuff. Then we've got our excellent Weird War Wednesdays, baby. There's a bunch of videos in there. Man, I got 12 videos in there. Wow.
Y'all.
Sweet.
Well,
But that's
but
yeah. So on the Weird War Wednesdays, so what we do is we do the live show like right now. So you guys can come in and rap with us and throw out messages and tell us how fucking awesome, how beautiful I look. And then what I do is I'll go back and I'll use the video and I'll cut it up. I'll do the director's cut. I usually delete the live footage just because, I do. And I'll put all cool, I'll insert movie trailers and inappropriate things and, voiceovers and whatever. So be sure to check out the director's cuts. They're a lot of fun. I get to play with my editing prowess. All right, then we got Eat Hitler. It's a fantastic game. It's all about you're playing as dinosaurs and trying to eat Hitler. I mean, what the fuck? You can't beat that, right? That's a fun game. And that, my friends, is Weird World War II on YouTube. So go over there. We got tons of videos, man. I don't even know how many video videos we got. We probably got at least 100, if not over 100. So that's at least, you can spend 20 minutes of your time watching something there. Got lots of shit. Yep. So check it out. That's our site. We've only been doing this just over a year. We're having a blast, guys. We're having a lot of fun doing it. So it's a lot of fun. Okay. So that is our website of the day. And next is the excellent. We're going to talk about the fun and excellent Dead Snow.
Klar! Fariga!
dere små bortskjemte snørrvalper ikke har giddet å lese litt lokalhistorie om området her før dere kommer valsende inn på den helvetes nedtraktoren deres. Under annen verdenskrig så var Østfold en utrolig viktig plass for tyskerne. Det var en holdeplass for tyske krigsskip. Folk ble torturert og banket og mishandlet hver eneste dag. Tror meg når jeg sier det. Det her var onde satans jævla.
Se hva da? Fortune and glory, kid.
Og du vet hva vi gjør, ikke sant?
Dead Snow movies. Okay, so the Dead Snow flick, it's a Norwegian flick. There's two of them. The first one basically has like some, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but the gist is like a group of college kids go up to this isolated cabin in the woods, right? And even they run into an Oracle of Doom, tells a story about the locals uprose against the Nazis when the Nazis were occupying Norway, and I guess the unit that was there in the area was driven into the woods, never to be seen again. But some say that they still are there, hoarding their booty that they stole from the people. So basically, they encounter Nazi zombies. I mean, zombies would be bad enough, but they're Nazi zombies, so that makes them even worse, or better, better or worse. So it's a survival movie for them having to, survive the Nazi zombie attacks.
And to survive, they must have sex on the toilet.
Okay, so we're not going to get into a whole lot of stuff, but there's one scene, a notable scene, my friends, notable, that all must know about. And in the director's cut, you'll see it. You'll see the scene.
Case?
But it is one of the characters is taking a shit out in the outhouse. Of course, it doesn't have running, plumbing, because it's a cabin in the woods that is meant to, facilitate the death of young people. So he's taking a shit, right? And okay, so this is the exact same scene. He's wiping his ass, and then this girl comes in, some girl that likes him, and she starts kissing on him or whatever on the pot, and And then she gets his hand and licks his like finger like that, like seductively. The same hand, I say, that was just wiping his ass.
That's just nasty.
Woo! Now I know Norwegians, there's some crazy folk, but I don't know if they're that crazy to lick the shit off someone's hand. And then they proceed to hump, and then you know what happens when you hump in a horror movie? It's a fucking death sentence. So that's what happens. And I guess Nazi zombies don't like women doing that either. So there you go. But it's a notable scene. Hold on a second. The effects in it are fantastic. You know, it has a lot of like Evil Dead 2 feeling to it. A lot of blood and guts. The kills are a lot of fun. So if you're big into slasher flicks, you know, like Friday the 13th or Halloween or anything like that, definitely in Evil Dead, definitely check that out. It's a really good movie. Okay, so then the second one picks up right when the first one ends. Okay.
Morten Hikkerud. Han rømte fra sykehuset I går og drepte en politimann ved å slenge en Mercedes-stjerne I trynet på ham.
Kutta den Mercedes-stjerne? Is this the zombie squad?
That is a 10-4, Martin, and we will be heading your way shortly. Listen, Martin, these are not your classic textbook zombies, just hungering to feast on the flesh of man. No, these are most likely cursed zombies, awakened to reclaim something that was stolen from them, or to complete a task given to them. Okay, girls. Looks like we're going to Norway.
Norway?
First zombie squad kill.
Jeez.
What did you find out? What do the creatures want?
Revenge.
We have a tank, I see.
Your arm, your power is the only thing that can take down Herzog at this point.
What do? We create an army of our own.
Fuck yeah.
A lot easier if you could buy weapons here.
I know. What the fuck's the matter with this country?
And basically, one of the survivors gets taken back to civilization, and he's kind of accused of killing all these people. But then the Nazis follow him like to town, and they decide to like fucking kill everybody. So it's a lot of fun. I like the second one because it's more mayhem, because the Nazis come out of the woods and they like just take it to the people. I guess the main Nazi zombie guy is able to like resurrect the dead, the fresh dead, to like make into their zombie hordes or whatever. So they're making new zombies. So it's pretty crazy. But there's a twist, and I won't tell you what the twist is, but they have, it's the first encounter that I've ever seen of zombie versus zombie action. We have zombies fighting zombies, which is pretty sweet. And I won't tell you how the particulars of that, but It's pretty cool how it happens. But there is one notable scene in this movie. Said certain bad guys, okay, are in a tiger tank, and they're going, through the neighborhood, some residential Norwegian neighborhood, and they're causing mayhem, and they see a duo of mothers pushing their babies in their strollers, like running away, and that 88 just and just boom, and okay, so the moms blow up, right? But it's a great scene because when it blows up, this little baby just flies right to the screen, and you will see that scene in the director's cut. So be sure to watch the director's cut. It's fantastic, and the kills are crazy and outlandish and just insane. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Both movies are a lot of fun. They're both it's not scary at all. Is it scary?
No, it's more of a comedy.
Yeah, it's like a horror comedy. So it's not like if you're scared of horror movies, this is more of like a funny horror movie. So definitely check it out. So the movie was directed by the same guy, Tommy Wirkola. He's some Norwegian dude. Before that he made a movie called Kill Bill Joe, which is supposed to be a parody off of Kill Bill. Now I haven't seen it, but that sounds kind of interesting. I might want to check that out. He also did Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. Not a good flick.
I loved it.
Ugh. And then What Happened to Monday? That was a Netflix sci-fi flick. That wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It stars Jaeger Hull as Martin. He's like the survivor. And then Orjan Garnst as Herzog. Herzog is the lead Nazi zombie. So they use the same people in both movies, which is really cool because I hate when they change characters, they change actors for the same character in a movie. So, well, I mean, I think the first movie was made in 2009, and the second one was in 2014. So, I mean, that's a pretty good distance. So he probably aged a little bit, so that's why the guy looks a little different. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of great kills. If you're a horror buff like a gorehound and splatterpunk like we are, they can appreciate a good funny kill. This is a great movie for that. But do you have any insights, my love, on Dead Snow?
I give it 5 stars.
She gives it 5 stars. 5. Woo! I don't know about 5. I give it 4. It's a lot of fun. We watched them back to back. Had a good time. But definitely worth checking out. The other actors in it, I mean, they're all Norwegian. So, and me being a jingoistic bastard that I am, I don't really know about them. So I didn't do much research on them because they didn't do much notable mainstream movies. So, but if you're Norwegian, I'm sorry, but check them out. Go to the IMDb or Wikipedia and see who's in it. There's some pretty hot chicks in it, but they haven't done anything of note. But all right, so that was Dead Snow. Dead Snow 1 and Dead Snow 2, Red versus Dead is what the subscriptor's called. So pretty good, worth renting. Hell, if you can find them for $5, shit, they're worth picking up.
Or free online.
Or free online. That's always good. If I find a free online through my travels, I will put a link to it on the director's cut of this video. All right, guys. So we did our website for the night, and we did our media for the day. And now we're going to talk about gaming Hellborn troops. Now, there's a difference between airborne and Hellborn or airmobile or whatever. Okay, so airborne is like paratroop, right? So they just fly by and they just mass drop fucking troops in an area to do whatever. Now, that was originally the paratrooper idea was kind of originally started by the Soviets, I believe, like in the 20s. But it wasn't until World War II with the Germans really took a hold of it and started doing that. Now they supplemented the paradropping with gliders. So, you guys know what the gliders are. Glider-borne stuff is like, unmanned or unpowered aircraft. The glider just flies down. It has, they call them, the Americans call them a slick, but it's usually like a squad or a little bit more of troops in one of them, and it lands purposely like where they want to land. So the Germans started using gliders in their assaults and against the during the Western campaign, they against like Belgium, and I think they did some in Norway and the Netherlands. They used the glider attacks as well as their airborne. But and then when they did the invasion of Crete, that was really clusterfuck because the Germans would jump without weapons. The only thing they had were like pistols when they jumped. But, they would get like those canisters for their rifles and shit, and they'd have to go find them. But, that's no bueno if you could land somewhere and you don't know where the fuck your rifle is at. But anyway, so I guess there was some calamity there during that operation and the Allies grabbed hold of the concept of, parachute in general, and then also glider assaults. The British and the Polish and the Americans used gliders during D-Day, and then Operation Market Garden, which was they trying to break to the Rhine that kind of failed. Got halfway done, but didn't quite make it. But the idea of just an aircraft to land troops in a specific location that lands, or gets them to where they want to actually go, instead of just blanket this. So now later in the war, now it's not commonly known, but everybody had helicopters. The Soviets had helicopters, the Brits had a helicopter, the Americans had helicopters, the Germans had helicopters. But they weren't used in like the traditional fashion that we know they are used today. They're usually like kind of transport or recon, shit like that. But there was a moment, it didn't happen, but there was a moment in World War II that helicopters were almost used for an assault. And this was during when Skorzny, Otto Skorzny, and his commandos were going to rescue Mussolini. They were going to use the Dragon, the German dual-bladed Dragon helicopters to do that assault, and that would have been the first like heliborne air assault. That was like these helicopters just purposely fly up, the mountain and land and drop these troops off, and then fly off, and then come get them after the mission's done. But I guess the weather was bad, but they landed with gliders instead, which would be the next. Kind of the glider and the helicopter, they were going to use them the similar way, but they used gliders instead. But that would have been the first. But the first like noted helicopter use in this fashion was in the Pacific Theater in the Burma area, where I believe an Allied aircraft had engine trouble and was able to actually land on one of these like emergency airfields. Like up in the mountains in Burma somewhere, but they needed fuel and some supplies. But so what they did is the Americans had, I think the R4, the Skorsky R4. It's just like a 2-man helicopter, and that was usually used for like liaison or recon. But what they did is they would ferry. They were ferrying like supplies and parts and like fuel up to these guys so they could fix the plane on the mountain. And then like there was a wounded guy and he flew back in the helicopter or whatever. So they were using this helicopter almost in like not an assault, but they're using it in a different way, and that led to some idea that like if we had bigger helicopters, the Americans kind of grabbed onto this. If we had bigger helicopters, we could use them to actually, maneuver troops behind enemy lines and place, instead of airdropping them, just scatter them all over. We can actually like pinpoint land infantry behind the enemy lines. That was the big thing, was like behind enemy lines. If you get those helicopters behind the lines and drop off your troops exactly where you want to go, that's badass. So that's, it's a little bit more coordinated because they're more, they're more together. They're not just spread out. So, but it wasn't really until Vietnam when the Americans started using air assaults, with the Hueys and all that shit. There was a little bit of that in Korea, not on a huge scale, but Korea was probably the first war where helicopters were used in a big way, like MASH, stuff like that. And, they did do some troop transport and equipment transport and stuff like that. But it wasn't until Vietnam where they really used the airlift capability of the new modern helicopters of the day to really transport these troops. And, it was hell. It was hell for the fucking Vietnamese. Because, Americans can show up anywhere. But then, it's hell on the Americans too, because the Vietnamese, when they started getting organized and they started getting heavy weapons from the Soviet bloc, helicopters ain't armored, guys.
Spotted a large weapon down below. We're gonna go down and check it out. All right, this is Mark 5.
Outstanding, red team. Outstanding.
And although they move decent speed, nothing compared to an airplane, they got shot down pretty hardcore. So the tactics started to develop. And for you to have heliborne operations, you got to have gunships. So what these gunships would do is you'd have your helicopter transports with your troops in it, okay? And then you had gunships that would fly the perimeters to, lay suppressive fire. Now, one thing you don't hear about a lot is that they used to smoke the fuck out of areas. They would like drop, like smoke to smoke an area so they can land, in sometimes, okay? Because, you got to have either the enemy suppressed or something, because those helicopters are so friggin' vulnerable when they start landing or lifting up. It's just they're close to the ground. They're susceptible to small arms fire. So you got to have that suppressive fire or concealment for these helicopters to actually get the troops to where they need to be. Now, later on in heliborne operations, they do like the fast lining where they don't even land the helicopter. They just like cover, and then all the dudes kind of slide down the rope. And, like in, like Black Hawk Down, that's a good example of the Mogadishu. Go! That kind of shit. But, it's done all over the world by special forces and just air mobile troops anyway. Okay, so it's a great, doctrine, and it's still alive today and strong. You got most infantry units, I believe, are, trained in like fast rappelling and whatnot. I think, I'm not a military guy, but I'm familiar with military operations. So I think most military are trained in how to rappel off of helicopters and whatnot. And, we got some badass helicopters nowadays. Shit. But, okay, so let's talk about using this kind of idea in your weird World War II game. Now, in our games, we've basically fast forward the tactical doctrine of heliport or of helicopter assaults to World War II. So in our world, we've got, you got the Fallschirmjäger, or even like even like here or SS units that are specifically like heliborne units that use those tactics of landing troops behind enemy lines in helicopters or whatnot. Now, there's some sticky points in gaming this. Okay, first of all is the scale. Now, if you're playing 28 millimeter or bigger, in my opinion, the scale is too large to really use helicopters in a tactical way. Okay, 28 millimeter is quite large, for aircraft. You can find 148 scale World War II era helicopters in 148 scale. So, and they're big, man. They're big. So, realistically, they don't work on the battlefield at that big. Now, you can still use them as like scenery, or you can use them like specific missions where a helicopter is coming and whatever. But like using it as a force, as a tactical force. I mean, even like if you're using helicopter gunships, they'd be off board unless they're doing some sort of pop-up attack, or whatever. But even then, dude, I mean, again, helicopters are they're not high in the air, and they're not armored, and they get ripped up. I mean, especially with the anti-aircraft defenses of World War II, you have a lot of autocannons, and you got a lot of like platforms with lots of machine guns, So I mean, we're talking like an M16. If you're a German player, you're going to get against the U.S. M16. I mean, that's quad 50 calibers. That's like that'll like waste your ass really quick. And if you're an American, you're going up against like a Whirlwind. That's quad 20 millimeters. So it's like, ooh. So anti-aircraft weaponry during World War II would be great against helicopters. But yeah, I mean, you can do altitude. Like Eric says, my experience is that aircraft are one scale level smaller than the figures to simulate altitude difference. Like the Flame of War aircraft. Yeah, so, and you can do that, but they don't really necessarily have to be, modeled on the battlefield. I mean, but because we're talking about air mobile, operations, that means that the helicopters are going to be like, disgorging troops on the battlefield. So those helicopters are going to be present. Now, and again, I think 28 is a little big for the scale to be played on that level, that size scale. But when you get into like, he mentioned Flames of War, like 15 mil or smaller, I think that's a good scale to actually use heliborne operations in your game. Now, saying that, you got to take into account like in our game, I have several Dragon helicopters, right? And realistically, that thing can only has like a crew of 1, and then it like can carry like 5 guys or whatever. So we kind of fudge it a little bit to make it to where they can at least carry like a squad of troops. And the Americans in 1946, they had the R-12 Dragonfly, which is a fucking awesome looking helicopter, but they didn't make them. There was a few prototypes of this thing, but it's a kick-ass looking helicopter, and it can carry like 12 dudes. So I wish I could find a 148 scale Dragonfly, because I'd buy a shit ton of those fuckers. But yeah, so a lot of fun. But like, okay, so 15 millimeter. So you can actually do, a heliborne operation, and okay, so let's talk about that. What do you use in your games when you play heliborne? First thing, you gotta suppress the enemy in whatever. So either that's either in the form of gunships or like ground forces that are already on the ground. Okay, cool. Ground forces that suppress the enemy, because these helicopters are friggin' susceptible. They're not armored. They're not moving fast. They are going to get shot down easily. So in our games that I've played, I've smoked the board. I like artillery struck, just smoke. And I smoked the entire fucking board in front of me. and then I came down and I landed my helicopters behind that smoke. Now, I also tried like off-board helicopter gunships, but again, you know, if you play point systems, helicopters are probably going to be relatively expensive. So, you know, you don't really want to use them as tanks. You know, even if your helicopters have some weaponry on them, if you play a realistic game, they're not going to survive very long against like dedicated frontline, you know, weaponry. So, I would stick to their intended uses. Just come in, drop those fuckers off to where they need to go, and then, you know, fly off and be on station until they need to come back and help out, you know, or pick somebody up or whatever, or, you know, circle the field if they're gunships, you know, have them off board, you know, doing attacks. But you know, you got to have the rules to have a counter against that. So you got to, you know, allow for yeah. So Eric says, you know, or close air support aircraft, yeah, to protect the helicopter landings. But again, 15 millimeter or small, even 20 millimeter would probably work, or smaller. You could get away with actually physically playing with, you know, a fucking wing of helicopter. I don't even know what they call them, like the squadron of helicopters or wing or whatever they call them, on the actual board to where they disgorge their troops and whatever. But it's a really cool. You know, tactically, you know, it's a great force multiplier because you can get your troops behind enemy lines, you know, to where you want to, you know, to where they're not expecting, or if it's rough terrain, you can get, you know, these troops into higher elevations without much issue. And then plus, you know, helicopters themselves can be a great like weapon platform. If you use the pop-up attack, that's a great thing. You know, you might invest in, like, if you're playing a larger scale game, invest in like one gunship. Just as long as there's some sort of terrain that they can do pop-up attacks against, you should be in pretty good state. You know, helicopters, you know, they can't carry bazillions of things on it, but I mean, you're definitely talking about rocket pods and machine guns, autocannons, maybe. I mean, I don't know about like guided missiles and shit. I mean, that's a little advanced. I mean, the Germans had the, you know, with the Fritz missile. The guided missile, and the Little Red Riding Hood, the X7, could be used on a weapon platform, or a helicopter platform. You know, they had unguided unguided missile rockets like the Flügelfaust. You could use that, but pretty much come up with whirlwinds. Oh yeah, dude, whirlwinds and M16s and shit. You know, the Russians had that one AA truck. It had I think it had 8 like Maxim machine guns on it. Just they're all like on a big rack. There's like 8 of them. There might have been 12. I can't remember how many there were, but it's just fucking crazy. But that's a lot of, like a World War II Shilka. Yeah, that's like, those are badass, man. Those what are those? I'm trying to think what autocannon size. I think those are like 50 millimeters. 50 millimeter autocannons, or bigger. I'm not sure what the Soviets were using in that bad boy, but dude, yeah. But I mean, the Whirlwind itself, those are 20 millimeter, and then one of the prototypes, 23 mil. Shit, that's all it needs. Again, these are helicopters, man. They don't got any armor. The 23 will rip right through, and those are all explosive rounds, AP, like mixed shit. So that tear the hell out of something. But yeah, like the Whirlwinds and and if you're playing a weird war, you know, you could have the Panther, the Flak Panther, like the Coelian. It had a dual. There's different. They never made them, but they intended to make a dual 37 millimeter, maybe dual 50 millimeter autocannons, and then there was another one where there was like quad, like I think it was like 25 millimeter machine guns on it or something. But yeah. Hell, and you can just, because this is weird war, you can just put whatever the fuck you want on it. You know, you could have, you know, rocket and anti-aircraft rocket truck. He just shoots rockets up into the air, like proximity fuses and blow the hell out of helicopters, whatever. But yeah, so helicopters ain't tough, and if you lose one, in flight, that's at least a squad of troops, man. So it's like, and you're in the air. I mean, depending on your rules, I mean, if you're playing like 40K, some more arbitrary bullshit where the thing blows up and you roll a save for everybody in it, and anybody who doesn't make the save dies, they miraculously just appear on the ground safe and fine. But we don't play like that. We play pretty realistic. If a helicopter gets shot down, you guys are fucked. And again, if you play realistically, they're not going to be very strong. And if you're playing with points, they're probably going to be really kind of expensive.
Okay, guys, so the computer went dead right here, so it cut short, but we're pretty much done with the conversation. Helicopters, smaller scales would be more advantageous to use, because anything probably, larger than 20 millimeter probably wouldn't fit the table that you're gaming on, and you wouldn't really get the full advantage of, what helicopters can do, how it can outmaneuver, and whatnot, the front line. But to recap, be sure to swing over to the Weird World War II YouTube channel. Check out all of our channels, all of our playlists. Definitely check out the Dead Snow series of movies. You get a good laugh, watch some cool kills and some dark humor. And think about, introducing helicopters into your Weird World War II gaming in either full-blown heliborne operations or just kind of, use gunships, do pop-up attacks, or just kind of, one-off single missions where, it's used as scenery or, it's a character in the game per se. But, alright guys, does, my beautiful, disembodied counterpart have anything to say? No, idiot. Yeah, she's talking to Brian. I don't know who she thinks she's talking about. But, alright guys, so be sure to catch Brian and Mel next week, or this week actually, on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of Weird War Wednesday. And whatever you guys do, keep it weird. See ya.